everyone, and welcome back to Simply Renee. I'm here to discuss another Sunday Reads with Renee, this time more about magazine reading. Before I begin, I'd like to thank everyone who has subscribed so far, as well as watched, shared, liked, and commented on my videos. I appreciate all the support, and I hope to continue to watch here. I'm going to also give a quick update on my summer reading because it's coming up towards the end on August 31st. And I'm happy to say that I've done 25 books thus far, and I have 5 more to go. Hopefully, I'll finish them all. I don't know for sure, but I'm going to give as accurate an assessment and update as possible for next Sunday on August 31st. So please keep in mind. And now, on with the segment. So today I wanted to talk more about magazine reading because even though it's not novels or short stories, they are essential to the reading process, I feel. I personally like a different variety of magazines. I'm a fan of the Smithsonian, Alfred Hitchcock Mystery Magazine, Ellery Queen Mystery Magazine, as well as other different types of magazines that have articles and information that catch my eye, make me want to do a little bit more reading. Now, when it comes to the Smithsonian, I really like that the best because it gives you a variety of different topics. And I feel it's pretty good. They give you short topics, longer topics, sometimes medium size as well. It offers different types of visuals to it, which are always fun to look at too. And the thing I like about the Smithsonian is just that it has a lot of great information that really engages me. Sometimes it doesn't, but I do like a lot of the topics that they write about and discuss in these magazines. One is from winter 2024, where it's titled Picturing the Past. And I really enjoyed that article because it was about a photographer who wanted to explore his portrait picture taking a little bit more with people of color. And it helped to really bring a little bit more variety and diversity to that process, but it also allowed the families of the people taking these photographs with historical figures of their family members, and it gave them a little bit more genealogical research to discover what their ancestors did to contribute to the Civil War on the Union side. And it was a very interesting process for them in family history, but to also take these photographs that are reproductions similar to what their ancestors had in the pictures that were found in the archive. So that was a very interesting article. Another one came from December 2024, which I really liked, which was about Japanese internment camps, a very dark history in American history. And it was very interesting to read more of that because I first learned about it in 2001. And I'm glad there's a lot more research being done and more people discussing their experiences in the internment camps for future generations to understand a lot more about that dark history in America. And then there's also the more recent one, which came in the spring of 2025, which I really enjoyed, which was Rome's aqueducts and underground areas. I had gone to Rome in September 2024, really enjoyed it. It was a magnificent time. It'd been a dream of mine for 25 years, and I finally found the opportunity to go. And to be around the ancient and modern aspects of Rome was a really wonderful experience. But to see all these visuals of the aqueducts and the underground areas of Rome was really exciting for me to see because I felt like I was back in Rome again. So it was interesting to see what the Smithsonian does with a variety of topics you can enjoy. And there's plenty of other things they discuss, such as archaeology, art, coffee beans were also a big thing in the spring 2025 article, which I really enjoyed, and those are very fun and engaging topics I like. Now, when it comes to Alfred Hitchcock Mystery Magazine and Ellery Queen Mystery Magazine, it's more short stories and book reviews that deal more with, of course, mystery and psychological thrillers. But I really enjoy this because I love mystery and psychological thrillers. I'm a fan of Alfred Hitchcock's work, and I really, really wanted to get more of my mystery reading in because I love that genre so much. So subscribing to these magazines was great because it allows me to read different types of stories that are mystery-related, psychological thrillers. So I really enjoy that aspect. And they're still going strong, which is nice, especially Ellery Queen. There's been some changes between both magazines under new publications, but still enjoyable and still looking forward to reading more great short stories by different writers that I've never heard of and some that I have. And of the other magazines that I read, it's also BBC History Magazine, which I really enjoy because I like a lot of the topics and articles they discuss, whether it's about the monarchy or history with England or just basic world history, even the ancient world. They do a lot of variety of topics like that because I do like history. I like learning a lot about historical facts as well as some new information that may have been recently discovered and now is being presented to the public. Because as much as I love my history books, history is rewritten constantly because we're getting new information, new research, and new evidence coming forth that gives us more perspective and more information than we had previously, which can be a great thing and a positive thing. And I really enjoy reading all of that, whether it's a history book or a history article, or especially in BBC history. But one of the reasons I wanted to discuss magazines reading is because I think it is important to look at all different aspects of reading, not just in fiction and nonfiction works or even short stories and novellas, but also in trending topics, or maybe topics that aren't trending but are interesting and we should know about and research and read up on so we can keep up with a lot of different things. And of course, there are other magazines as well. There's The Economist, there's Time, there's Newsweek, and whatever we think about magazines and everything like that, they can be very beneficial to the reading process. I think the only thing that I disagreed with when I looked at the benefits of magazine reading on the websites that I was looking at is screen-free time, because they say, oh, they're portable, you can put them in anywhere and look at them in a traditional sense. I disagree with that because magazines are becoming more digital and have been for a long time. And in fact, the digital subscriptions I do are for the Smithsonian and all my other magazines that I read on a regular basis. Not because I'm for screen constantly, but also because that's just the way I've gone. That's the only thing I really disagreed with. Other things is fine. There's National Geographic, which is at my workplace because someone has subscribed to it and leaves it for our reading pleasure. And I looked through it one day on my break and I really enjoyed it. It was about penguins, and I do like penguins, so it was nice to read that article about penguins and their anatomy and how they move and swim with their bodies. So that was a very interesting article. And there's also other magazines that are available for kids. I'm actually thinking of getting National Geographic Junior for my 3-year-old nephew, and I'm thinking of maybe getting Highlights. In fact, I remember when I was a kid, really liking those magazines when I was a kid. I can't remember all of them, unfortunately, but they did get me into current topics a little bit in the kid version. This was back in the 1990s, so long time ago, giving away my age at this point. But basically, I do think you should give magazine reading a try, because if you're looking for also to get out of the usual reading slump and maybe you just don't want to read a short story or novella or even a 300-page novel, then this is a good way to do it, just to keep your reading up, especially if you don't have a ton of time and maybe just want to read a quick article that only takes maybe 15, 20 minutes, depending on the length. So magazines are something that I would recommend, and I hope you do pick up any magazines that you have. And while we're at it, tell me what you think about magazine reading. Do you think it's beneficial or not? Are there magazines you subscribe to that you'd like to suggest? Have you read any of the magazines I subscribe to? Please be sure to put everything in the comment section. I'd love to hear all the discussions. I thank you so much for tuning in to this week's segment of Sunday Reads with Renee. This was a little bit more of a quick video, unfortunately, because I'm crunched for time this week, but I will be back next week with a longer one over my Summer Reading 2025 assessments. And I'm really looking forward to that, just to give you an idea of how accomplished my summer reading list was, what are my feelings about the books I read, and I look forward to giving all that update along with all of my fall reads too. I thank you so much for tuning in once more. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, and leave a comment, of course. And I hope to see you again next week and join me. And thank you again so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, and being part of my channel. It really helps me grow. And I hope to see you all again soon. Bye.